Testing 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Test clear.
Okay, let's go. Steve, you're up.
You can cut that out.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Lord, help and guide us to make the best possible decisions we can make for the city of Boonville and its citizens. And also thank you for the break in the weather. Amen. Amen. Roll call.
Young,
Here.
Meadows. Here. Cowherd.
Here.
Kurt. Elbert.
Here.
Denable.
Here.
Turner. And Stock.
Here.
Okay.
Just a quick comment. We got a information just before the meeting that Teresa was taking Henry to the hospital. So put him in your prayers tonight. Okay. Hearing of citizen comments. We're going to take citizen comments. We'll ask you to come up to the podium, say what you've got to say, tell us who you are, and there's a signature sheet up there for you to sign. And you're limited to 5 minutes. Hi.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Janica.
Jenna.
Janica.
Okay.
Janica Brown.
If you
I
could-
work over here at the library.
Let's see, yeah, if you could write that. You need a pen?
Oh no, it was blended in.
Okay. Thank you.
So folks, I'm not even sure if this is the right venue to say what I'm going to say. So if it's not, feel free to just direct me to where I need to be.
I'm not afraid to interrupt. So
I appreciate that.
Don't be surprised.
Okay. I live over here on Locust and 7th, right by the Catholic school. So I've got to go up the hill, the Locust Hill, and I've already emailed the city and got nowhere. So I figured I'd bring it to you guys. We just need new signage on that three-way stop sign. You would think we would all know that it's a three-way at this point, but we don't. And
Right.
I watched near.
Which one?
It would
You're,
be
you're, talk,
Locust and 6th Street.
Yeah, Locust and
you're talking about the
Okay.
Locust and 6th
Yes,
or
sir.
Locust and 7th?
Locust and 6th. I
Okay,
live on
going
Locust
up
and 7th. I
the
apologize for the
right.
confusion. But it's that three-way stop sign.
Right.
The signs are super faded. They're kind of bent in, and they're very incredibly small. And so I've got to go up that hill all the time, winter, summer, and I see a lot of near misses. So I was
Yes.
hoping if I just mentioned it to you guys, maybe somebody would read
Well,
that email. And
You actually mentioned it to the guy that's responsible.
I emailed it to the city on the city's website where it says you should do so through the
Okay.
email. So I'm not sure whoever got it.
Okay?
I
I'm
did
not
not-
either. I hadn't seen it. But,
You know, ML comes in all the time, but I know he's retired, so I haven't even brought it up to him because I
Right.
figure I will just bring it to you
yeah.
guys instead.
There is no signage at all if you're eastbound. Or
Possibly
excuse
not.
me, westbound. That's when you get to the top of the
Yeah,
hill.
there's no signage there,
There's
and then on
nothing
the
there.
other three stop signs, it's all very small, bent,
Right.
faded. You know, and of course, those of us that live here, we know it, but
Right.
you've got all this other additional traffic, and I'm just afraid that one day, it's gonna be the wrong day
Yeah.
for somebody. I'm fully insured, so it's probably not gonna be me, and I'm the one going up the hill, so it's gonna be a bad day for whoever's crossing in front of me. So, just wanted to bring that up, and then the second thing, and I'll try to keep this super quick, because again, I don't know if this is even the right venue, but I live right by the Catholic school. Every year when they're in session for about a half hour, they get to go one way,
Right.
right? I have no problems with that. What I would be curious to know, and I did consult with the neighbors, I've got about 2 neighbors that don't care, 2 neighbors that say yes, 1 neighbor that says no, and that's all the homeowners that live kind of down just in that little block there between Spring and Locust. What if it was just always one way, the way the Catholics want it?
We have taken that to Streets and Alley to look at that. both from that standpoint as well as from emergency vehicles.
Yeah, it is an emergency snow route, which I was reminded of.
So far, Streets and Alleys has thought that we should leave it the way it was.
Okay,
So it has been talked about.
okay, I just want to bring it up because I live towards the end of Locust, and I've got to play chicken with people every night just to get to my house. Like, I work at the library, so I got to go up 6th and down. That's no big deal, it's not y'all's fault. But then people go through that stop sign, and now we're doing this
Right.
all day, and I can't tell them, I just live right here, so if you just let me get here. So I just wanted to do what I could.
Good.
It says ward number, I believe I'm in 2?
2,
1?
1.
Okay. I know you're listening. Awesome, thank you, nice to meet you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that was number 1. Number 2, who else wants to speak tonight? Okay. Oh, you're welcome to. I saw the notebook, so I thought maybe it was your time. What's your name?
My name is Angela Stinger.
Okay, Angela.
I live over on High Street. I've emailed all of you, I believe. My concern is with the animal ordinance regarding chickens. I know several people in Boonville who own chickens and are under the impression that it's allowed. I want the ordinance to be clarified, one way or the other. Obviously, I want it clarified in my favor because we have chickens. A lot of people do, and they benefit us. They provide for our family. I homeschool my daughter, and it provides a good learning experience for her. It teaches her responsibility, and they're part of our family. It just seems to be a mass confusion in town, the way it's worded. It reads like it's allowed, and there's even a section on how to maintain your coop, guidelines for that. So that's kind of why I'm here. I've got a petition with almost 200 signatures for wanting to allow chickens inside city limits. So
What, you have the petition with you?
I do.
Okay.
I don't have all of it yet. There's still some out there getting signed.
If you're still getting
Still working on it.
signatures, this is our city clerk, Amber.
Hi.
You can bring the petition down to City Hall
Okay.
and give it to her.
Okay.
And now that it's been mentioned, we will see who we can turn it over to look at it.
Okay. Yeah, I think I sent an email to everyone here that I am in Ward 1.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next. Okay. Approval of the minutes of July 19, 2021 council meeting. It's on pages 4 through 8. Are there any additions, changes, corrections? They will stand as submitted. Consent items. Item A, consider change order number 1 from Freck Paving Company in the amount of $11,427.68 for asphalt improvements 2021. Item B, consider pay request order number 1 from Freck Paving Company in the amount of $115,349.25 for asphalt improvements 2021. Did anybody have any questions or suggestions?
What is a change order?
A change order. I'll try to give you the simple explanation. You give me a contract, I sign a contract, and you have 4 items on that contract that you're going to complete according to the language that's in each one of those change orders, or each one of those items, okay? That's the contract between you and me. As you're doing the work, you find out that there's something goofy with number 3. And you need to change how to do it, and you need to change how much. So you come to the city, and it goes through engineering, and you get the change order. And there's 2 things that happen. A, you get the change in what you're doing, and oftentimes B, there's a change in how much you're charged. So that's what these are. Does that make any sense,
Yeah,
Barry?
so he made a contract for whatever amount he made. then he found out that it's gonna cost him more than what he wanted for.
Yes,
It was because the conditions were not as we believed them to be when they got into this particular one.
In this particular case on Highland Road, when we went out there and the contractor put in the curb and gutter, we found out that the road only had 2 inches of asphalt surface on it. And that's the reason for the road deteriorating. If we were to, the initial plan was to mill off 2 inches and put 2 inches of asphalt back on. If we were to mill off 2 inches of asphalt, we would have been down to dirt, because there was only 2 inches of asphalt on dirt. When you do that, you end up with a subgrade that's unstable. So we would have been redoing the entire road, reconstructing it. So instead of milling off the asphalt, we milled off the edges and reconstructed the edges of the road and just overlaid the asphalt. So now there's 4 inches of asphalt there. And that required a change order because it was unforeseen change in the contract.
It was unforeseen, he didn't go out and look at it first before he threw a bid on it, is what you're saying?
No, we went out and put plans together for it. And we did not dig down or core drill the asphalt to determine how thick it was. So there was a change in the contract.
so Barry, essentially what you're dealing with is if you've got a good plan, you're the contractor, I'm the guy that's paying you, you've got a good plan that you're gonna do the stuff for me. But that plan is based upon facts. It's based upon inspection. It's based upon all those kinds of things. When the facts change, once you dig into a hole, the facts can change. Once the facts change, what you do is you come to me for a change order. That's how it works.
Okay, I understand that part, but I was just saying, if I had a house, and I was building a house, and all of a sudden, the contractor says it's gonna cost you this much, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, he says, I wanna raise your price up to this much. Well, I would've thought he'd been liable for that much you said at the beginning, than saying, I'm gonna charge you X amount more of dollars, you know what I mean? That's, if it's on him, I would think.
And that does occur, particularly where there's no contract or where the contract has not been written correctly. In our case, we do accommodate those kind of changes because, as he explained, we would want that change to be done correctly so that we had a road that we don't have to spend too much money on to maintain.
I see what you're saying, but I'm just saying that if he had looked at it before he submitted his bid in for the job, he would have found out that he was only two and he needed to be 4 if he had to mill it off.
That's why we have the engineering firm
They're
to review that.
You can't foresee things under the ground. And those are unforeseen conditions that are incurred. And his bid was not just a lump sum bid to do the work. His bid was based on unit prices. So there was 13 or 14 unit prices in this project that he bid upon on quantities for asphalt, quantities for rock, and so forth and so on. So when you got an unforeseen condition that changes the scope of the work, that's where a change order comes in. Yes, sir.
So was it substandard when it was done? If
Yes,
there's
sir.
no gravel under it and it's only 2 inches,
That's not good.
yeah, somebody messed up a long time
A
ago.
long time ago.
Yes.
That's correct. If we would have taken the 2 inches off, the subgrade would have become unstable. And then we'd have had to come in with suitable material and put in a whole nother layer of rock, and your price escalation would have gone tremendously through the roof on it.
So, yeah, that's probably not a bad alternative.
Whitney,
Mayor, make the motion to approve both consent items A and B.
thank you. Second?
I second.
Thank you, Susan. Any further discussion? Okay, roll call.
Sorry.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Cowherd,
Yes.
Elbert,
No.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Stock.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Item 6, presentation of accounts and claims. It's on page 12.
Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Boonville as follows. Section 1, for the purpose of paying salaries and various accounts against the City of Boonville, which have been allowed by the council at the regular meeting thereof, August 2nd, 2021, the sum of $435,262.90. General Fund, $200,745.94. Sanitation, $21,685.68. CIP tax, $15,370.83. Waterworks, $87,808.29. Capital projects, $0.00. Wastewater, $81,216.02. Tourism, $6,661.75. Gaming, $17,431.77. Parks and water, $4,185.62. Kemper sales tax, $157. Economic development projects, $0.00. The accountant is hereby authorized and instructed to draw checks on respective city bank accounts in favor of the persons whose salaries and accounts have been allowed as above, amounting to $435,262.90, being the total amount of money being appropriated. This ordinance shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage, first reading on August 2nd, 2021, read for the second time this August 2nd, 2021, since a copy was made available prior to the meeting.
Second reading, title only.
Nope. Be it ordained by the council of the City of Boonville, or no, ordinance appropriating money, I'm sorry.
Good. Mayor, I move that we approve this ordinance.
I second.
Thank you and thank you. Any questions, comments? Roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Cowherd,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner, and Stock.
Yes.
Item 7, unfinished business. Item A under item 7. Second reading of bill number 2021-020, conveying real estate to Freedom in Christ Ministries, DBA, Community Impact Center.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri authorizing and approving a conveyance of real estate by the city to Freedom in Christ Ministries, DBA Impact Activity Center, a Missouri nonprofit corporation, and further authorizing the preparation of a special warranty deed and other necessary documents for purposes of such conveyance.
Is there a motion?
I move that we approve this.
Thank you, Susan. Second. Albert, thank you, sir. Any questions or comments on this? Roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Cowherd,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner, and Stock.
Okay, thank you. Item B, second reading of bill number 2021-021, amending chapter 2, article 7, regarding advisory boards and committees.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri amending Chapter 2, Article 7, Advisory Boards and Committees for the City of Boonville Code of General Ordinances, establishing an effective date therefore and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Is there a motion?
Mayor, make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Whitney. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Andrew. Questions or comments?
I'd comment on that. I hope Mr. Mayor, that this is the right decision. As you probably know, I'm really strongly for more communication rather than less, and I think this is less communication. Because I think the advisory board can help can spread the word on good things that we're doing in this city. And I guess I'm just taken back by the fact that we have so many meetings that's canceled for lack of agenda items. I just cannot wrap my arm around that. I mean, we worked for a month. The whole month, you mean to tell me there's nothing to talk about in these meetings? I think we have reverted to holding the meetings only if there's a problem or an issue that needs to be addressed. And I wonder if that's the right target there. Should we be having meetings to talk about different things? Let's say, for example, I just use the pool. And the pool's been closed for, I've had a half a dozen people ask, why is the pool closed the hottest 2 weeks of the month, of the year? Well, I think if we were having some meetings, perhaps, that would come out in there and the people of the advisory board could help communicate to the community about what's really going on there. So again, I'm going to vote for this, but I do think it's a vote in the wrong direction. I think we need more communication about what we're doing, than less.
Okay.
I just say that for
That's a rightful comment. Anybody else have a comment? Steve?
Why was the pool closed?
We're gonna talk about it later.
There's a dude right back there that told us that he was closing it, and he told us when he closed it, why.
Sorry, Paul.
He's right there. And that was covered in a council meeting, and it was in the minutes.
what sorry, Mr. Mayor, what was?
No, it's,
The pool situation.
It's in this meeting?
we're gonna talk about where we are with the mechanical issues.
So I
The
didn't miss
miscellaneous.
Meeting? Oh,
Yeah, when they originally closed it, he announced it.
I must have been, okay, I missed that.
Well, I heard it. You announced it, didn't you, Paul? You told us you were doing it.
I'll give you an update here in a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll wait for you up there.
So Albert, I don't disagree with your comment about more communication. I think in the case of these, I don't know if these were very effective. So it might be the case where we can come up with other things which we can do to make it more effective communication in these regards of the committees that were just never meeting.
Right.
Maybe didn't serve their purpose, so.
Well, I think that's exactly.
The good point that you both make is when we lost the paper, basically lost the paper, because we've lost the
That's
paper.
exactly.
When that happened, we did nothing. We did nothing to
fill the gap.
fill the gap. You know, we still televised the meetings, but I'm not sure very many people watch it. Barry?
Why don't we use public service announcements like KWRT?
Yeah.
We do. I mean, we have a standard media issue, so if there's a water break, that's probably the most common thing that we certainly want to get out to the public, but on other issues, you know, the police and the pool and tourism have Facebook pages, so they of course use Facebook. We put it out to KWT and we put it out to Boonville Daily News. It's just, unfortunately, a lot of people don't get the paper, don't listen to KWRT, so it's hard to get information out to the citizens sometimes.
Well, your point's well taken, but I can't tell you how many times I've been in somebody's living room and they bring up a certain issue and the person may say, well, I know Joe Blow that's on that board. I'm going to call him, see what's going on in that area. Mm-hmm. And so I think there's some value there. I think you're right. I think we have turned those advisory committees into, I don't know what they are. It seems to me like it's only time we're going to meet if there's a major problem that needs to be addressed, and I just think that's wrong. I don't believe that's the right way to do it. We should have ongoing meetings to talk about things that's going on within this city. That's just my viewpoint on it.
Okay, well said. Albert, anybody else? Roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Cowherd,
Yes.
Albert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Stock.
Yes.
Item C, second reading of bill number 2021-022, amending chapter 6 regarding cemeteries committee.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, amending Chapter 6 Cemeteries of the City of Boonville Code of General Ordinances, providing an effective date therefore, and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Okay. Motion?
I move we approve this.
Thank you, Susan. Second? Second by Michael. Thank you. Questions, comments?
So what does this do?
This is eliminating the cemetery board.
Okay, gotcha.
Anybody else? Okay, roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Coward,
Yes.
Gilbert,
No.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Stock.
Yes.
Item 8, new business. City of Boone, Item A, roll cart proposal from Waste Management.
We don't want to offend anybody by bringing trash carts. No good way to do it, so.
Your name?
Can everybody see this right here?
We can see it. Who are you?
I am Chuck Duncan. Came in here a few months back, and returning also is Gabe, the route manager here.
Okay,
So
great.
He wanted
Thank
to show
you.
up and say hello.
Okay.
Just wanted to, I know we have that started off as a proposal, and just as clarification, we're not to a spot where we're ready to give a written proposal to you. I wanted to start off more as just some communication, answer some questions, get an idea how the overall program would work, and kind of go from there. So just wanted to make sure that y'all didn't know there's no contract to vote on or anything like that tonight. It'll be a process over a few months if you're indeed interested. So also here to address any staffing concerns or service concerns that we might have. So I'm here to take the hit on that if anybody needs to talk about that. So
Which do you want to do first?
let's get the ugly out of the way first.
Okay.
How's that?
Who's got a hit?
Okay.
I think it was Tuesday, maybe. I'm Ward 2, which would be like Parkway Drive, Morgan, that area on the west side of Main Street. I had 6 calls from folks at Selwyn Apartments complaining about, to quote one of them, a mountain of trash that had not been picked up. And typically Monday, I believe, is the run through that part of the ward. And they were wanting to find out what the heck was going on. Well, then the last call was to say late in the afternoon on Tuesday it had been picked up, but I felt duty bound to find out why there was a 2-day delay in picking up that trash.
Okay, so to start off with, specifically for that particular area, unless Gabe has something else to say, generally speaking, we're in a staffing crisis across the whole country, specifically in this area. So that's what, since we're short on, just the plethora of drivers that we usually have, that's what covers up all the little service issues. So then some of that really comes to light because we're not able to just send some extra manpower and get something taken care of that was missed. And then I think last week we had 2 trucks break down, is that right? And then also the transfer station we had to take some stuff somewhere else for a little while. So is there anything else?
I did have a question on that. Was that a Resi account, like an actual individual account, or was it commercial?
It was folks living in the Selwyn Apartments.
Okay, so do they have a dumpster that we service, or is it?
I think it's
I'm sure
a
it's a
commercial.
Okay, well, last week we did have 2 trucks. They just petered out on us, which happens after running, because they go through a lot of use tipping those cans up in there. The littlest things can throw a truck into all kinds of pits. But as for that, that's probably what was going on. I mean, I've had to jump into a truck myself to run. Like last week, I got a call and said that we were behind, so I jumped into a truck and actually split off another route just to come clean all you guys up real quick. So we did get everything in town today. So you guys should all be back on schedule.
Okay.
Gabe's been working hard and he's had it rough for his first few months on the job too, so. But we do appreciate you coming out here, so thank you very much.
Yeah, I guess, I hopefully we can just talk it up to a little bit of transitional change that
Yeah.
slows down and with staffing and things. So, I think it'll get better. I mean, I think we all probably had heard a few things about what's the deal, it was a holiday, it wasn't a holiday, we're late, now we're, now I'm a restaurant and I have a pile. And so I think in my eyes, as long as, we think we have a solution, we can push forward with high quality, I think we'll all be happy. I won't speak for everyone. I will be happy if we can push forward with high quality response times and things like that.
And we are absolutely working our best, and I think if someone over here was talking about communication, and I think it was over the 4th of July that we had sort of a breakdown from our corporate messaging that comes out to what we do here locally, and we picked up on that. But I think we made a big enough deal about that at our company from the local area here that I don't anticipate that happening again. I think we nipped that problem in the behind. So
I wanted to just follow up on the truck, when you have a truck that's down. Is that normally you back up in a couple of days or so, or how long on average does it take to get back up?
Yeah, on average, it depends on what breaks. So, like if you get a transmission that shells out of a truck, we got to ship that to Kansas City. And then we also have our spare trucks and stuff like that. And usually your spares are the ones that you kind of just shelter in there. And you don't want them on the roads too long because they are spare, and you got to have those trucks running just in case. But most of the time, typically our response time, if we can get a mechanic out there, it's a couple of hours. But a couple of hours can make a big difference between 300 stops to 80 stops in a route. So, and travel time and stuff like that. But like in this area, our mechanics are just right there. Of course, we got 2 mechanics in 1 truck. I think they're in the works to try to do something else with that. Don't quote me on that. But as far as right now, if we're in town, it should be like a couple hours, depending on what breaks.
Okay, you understand. Now, once you're back up and running, let's say that my pickup day is on a Thursday.
Yes.
And you're back up on Friday, do you start picking up that Thursday, or do you stay with the pickup that's scheduled for Friday? How does that work?
Hopefully we never had to push you guys an entire day. The only time that we had to do that was during the 4th of July thing, and everybody was mixed up, and we picked up a day early, what we were supposed to.
we technically serviced everybody twice.
Yes.
Is what happened, and so that made us. We were already short-staffed, and then obviously we were already short-staffed, and you run the route twice because we knew people were not going to set their trash out.
Yeah.
So we came back and got it anyways because we wanted to do the right thing, but it set us back. Caused some operational issues
and
for
as
him.
far as going like pushing an entire day, I don't want everyone to do that. I got plenty of guys that come in. Boonville is our main concern, so if we break down, I always send my guys from out of town into town to clean you guys up. But if there was ever a case that we did have to push an entire day over, we'd always start on that day behind and then work our way forward.
It's essentially how that works in the grand scheme of things is our contracted municipalities where we have a contractual obligation to pick you up, not just doing the right thing. We tend to divert our resources to our contractually obligated stops and service you to the best of our abilities when times are tough. And then sometimes, unfortunately, what has to happen is some of the rural routes and uncontractually bound stops don't necessarily get the resources that the city of Boonville is going to get. So if it's bad for Boonville, then it gets bad everywhere, is essentially what we're saying. You get the pick of the litter on the equipment and the staffing. Is that pretty well summed up?
Where's the main landfill?
The main landfill,
Like
You
where's
make
the
it.
stuff?
we take it
in
to
Macon?
Macon.
Okay.
Any?
Item 2.
You going to staffing?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We're here to answer questions.
I
We're here
wanted
to
to hear
talk.
what you were going to say about staffing, but I guess my question would be, I know at least a couple of times we've heard that staffing was a concern of a problem. I guess, have you got your thumb on what is exactly the problem? Why are we having so much problem with staffing? Is the salary? Is it work hours? Is the kind of work? Or what is it that we can't get people to work?
It's just everything that's going on with our country in general. That's a bigger debate, and I have to be careful of what my opinions are versus what maybe reality is in some other places and what other people's opinions are, because there's no, if there was a right answer to that, we probably just wouldn't have the problem, is the way I feel about it. It's just started with the COVID. You've got the benefits, the unemployment benefits, that's where we're seeing a lot of, where we think we're seeing some of our shortages. There's just not a lot of qualified applicants that are applying right now. So I just talked to Dan Golder. He told me, and these are rough estimates, and it may change next month, but he's getting 9 to 12 applicants a month, and we're doing all the necessary advertising all over the country, offering to relocate people, the whole works. And then we go to the interview process, try to schedule an interview is another question. So you're getting a fraction of that even show up for the interview. Then we have to get them trained and qualified because we offer some of the safer programs in the U.S. and it's a high benchmark that they have to get to even drive our trucks. It's roughly a 3-month process before they even get on the road. We don't just let anybody drive trucks around your neighborhood. So but with that comes a little bit of startup time to get these guys on the road. But what we're doing as just proactive with our company in general, and again, it's a little different in different market areas, but out here in Boonville, we're offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus for a new driver. And that sounds like a lot till you get a few more stimulus checks out there, and then that's just as much money. So what's a lot? And we don't know yet, and I think we're all starting to discover that a lot's going to be a lot more than what we thought. And then on top of that, what we're doing, and this applies for me too, I just happen to have already gone to college, so maybe it doesn't benefit me as much as for retention, but we are also offering free college for a driver that wants to come, or tech, anybody in the company, Gabe, we can all go get a college degree, multiple certificates if someone hasn't graduated high school for whatever reason. We're offering also master's degree programs. You can't go to Harvard on us or anything like that. Maybe if it applies, we let them. I don't know the answer to that, but right now I think it's 12. The finer details of that is $12,000 a year. We're paying for a master's degree. So that's something I was kind of contemplating if I had the time to do it. It's not every degree in the world. I think there's 160 to 200 programs out there right now that's subject to grow. And then in 2022, I believe it's January 1st of 2022, then the eligible dependents of our, anybody in our company can also get these benefits. So, hey, we're hiring a driver. You can drive a truck for your 18-year-old kid that's getting ready to get out of high school, and we'll literally pay for their college. And I don't know what else we can do, and we're here. I'm here to direct down some feedback and take it back to the company too, but I feel like it doesn't get too much better than that for the time being. So, does that satisfy everybody?
I think it surprises us all.
Come work.
Good for y'all. Good for y'all.
And if you know anybody, I'd be happy to put Chuck Duncan down as a reference in city council meeting, and we'll move them up to the top of that very short list. Is all I can tell you.
It's awesome. Anything else, Hubbard?
No, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right. You want to go to item 2?
Okay, the CART program. So basically how this works is I'm just here tonight to talk about it, to answer some questions, gather some concerns, and maybe something that we haven't thought of, but we pretty well, think this out pretty well before we come in here. And then we'll get everything together, assuming that you have an interest. We'll put a proposal together and then work out any kind of fine details and any contract terminology, anything that needs to be done. We'll put that in writing and bring it to, I'd prefer to bring it to Kate. She can distribute it amongst you, talk about it some more, and then at a later point in time, maybe another council meeting or two, then we vote on something that we've already discussed thoroughly. And I wouldn't come and bring a contract and expect someone to read the language on a public meeting. It's just too much to do. So that's generally how it works. What we're looking to do is bring in carts for the whole community. We'd like to this is the size of the cart. And does anybody have any questions on cart sizes or any of that at this point in time? It's pretty self-explanatory. They roll. They're easy to use. Anything happens to the cart, we replace them, fix them, whatever we have to do. So we take care of it. Essentially, we bring the carts out. Thus, kind of the trade-off for the community is we need to do curbside predominantly. Gabe was taking me to a few places that would kind of meet an exception list, but people need to roll their trash out to the curb, on trash day. I take mine out the night before, and then that way the trash driver comes at 6 in the morning or he comes at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, whenever that may be. Trash is sitting out there for the driver, that way we don't miss any collection. We'd like to bring one cart out, and this would be the size. We have a bigger size, but then that's not necessarily going to be free. I have an opportunity right now to basically bring a cart out for the entire town, and it's not going to cost the city anything. We just ask that all the trash goes inside the cart, and I have to say in front of you all with the lid closed, because it's the safest thing to do. And that way we can run our automated equipment. It's actually, we rely less on the extra drivers that we need to bring in here, especially in a labor shortage. We got all kinds of benefits for us, which in turn are passed on to the city. So that's the staffing, it's the safety, it's the I don't know what else. I got a whole bunch of notes here. Reduces our injuries, helps us even retain our drivers, is what the route managers and the district managers are telling me. And
So if you had a household that wanted 2 of them, there's a set price for an additional roll cart or different size or whatever that is.
so we need to make the decision up front what size carts we're going to use, and this is what we call a 65 or a 64. It just depends on the manufacturer, but a 65-gallon cart. We really do need to have the same size carts for everybody. So is it possible? Yes, but does it cause some logistical issues and some headaches for y'all and us? And the answer to that, I think, is yes. So we decide first of all what size cart we want to go with. The 65-gallon option is literally free to you right now, and we just have an opportunity and a whole bunch of carts that we need to put somewhere, and Boonville gets them because we got such a long contract with you that we will realize some benefits as time goes on, even though there's a huge upfront cost to get them out here. So assuming we bring a 65-gallon cart out, that is going to be the base program for everybody. Roll it out to the street, put your trash in the cart. That's the quantity that you get. Now, if you want an additional cart, it is in the city's best interest to charge something for that additional capacity, because it'll turn into them ending up at garage sales and for storage, and it's counterproductive just to set a bunch of inventory out there just to do it, because they won't be utilized. So that way the folks that need the additional capacity are the ones that indeed pay for the additional capacity, and not everybody's neighbors essentially paying for it, because it just drives the cost up the more free stuff you have out there. So we want to give a free base service. That's what the city has the responsibility to do for its residents. And then anybody that needs the extra capacity, it's negotiable, but it's in the best interest to have some sort of a charge. And typically, we like to say $5 for the extra can, but we could work, and that's what we're here to talk about. But if you go too little, it's not good either. So
I totally agree. I would just ask them what
Okay.
the options are. Yeah, I think anybody that needs another one should have to pay whatever that may be for.
So what if they have something like this already, but not Viola? Maybe they have a cart similar to that. Can they still use that cart or that trash can?
That's a good question, and for a couple months into the program, it could potentially generate some phone calls, and the answer to that is they absolutely need to use the contractor supplied carts. It's just, we have to use our automated equipment with an arm, and it needs to be, we're going to be responsible for any damage that occurs to any property. But, anything that goes on, we're responsible for it. So we're going to provide the cart for free. So then we also ask that those that every single resident use our supplied carts. So the other carts we wouldn't be able to use anymore.
So they wouldn't be able to use a cart like that if they have one similar to that.
Nope, and there's
Several people I know of in the city that has carts like that are black, you know what I mean, but they have the lids on
You're
them.
talking about the Walmart cans that you buy.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, lids on them.
problem with that is, generally speaking, they're not as good quality as the ones that we're going to provide, and we start banging those cans out, trying to get all that extra trash out of the bottom of it for the people that don't bag it, and then all of a sudden the can cracks, and then who's paying that $25 or that $90 to that resident, and it tends to end up on all of your desks and mine, and we'll provide it, we'll provide all the maintenance, we'll 100% take care of them, but will some people have some extra trash carts that they've already bought? And unfortunately, the answer to that is yes, but we can't be perfect.
I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna ask anybody else.
Yeah, I can see this happening if we go to a roll cart system with one can per household or whatever. I can see folks setting extra trash bags next to it because that's what folks do now. And so how does that work?
So, well, like I said, communication. We're not going to try to overnight change the world, but at some point in time, we have to have a partnership between the city leaders, yourselves, and the ordinance and the contract all have to line up. And in order for us to get the benefits of automation, we have to have the folks put the extra trash, or they have to put their bagged trash inside the trash can. And so what we don't want to do is have the driver getting out of his truck every other stop, because then we don't get the benefits of, the workers' comp, reductions, if the guy twists his ankle, the whole 9 yards. We don't get any of those safety benefits, and it's actually, I believe, will slow us down from what we're already doing if we use automated equipment and then have to get out of the truck also.
Okay.
So I sometimes it's not always the answer that you want, but that's what we would.
I figured as much. I just wanted to verify because I know.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
So the benefits to that would be that hey, you get to drive around the city of Boonville and there's not bags of trash laying everywhere. You would need to put that into the ordinance to where you could literally find somebody if you had a situation over and over and over. Not recommending that. And then we would send out, part of the implementation plan and everything that would be in the proposal is that we would send out mailers to all of the households, as long as we have permission to do so, with step-by-step instructions on how to use a new cart, what's the new program, and exactly when we're going to do it. And we wouldn't just show up one day and here's your carts out of it, and then no one know what it is, and then also just start making up new rules. It would all be out there. We would use our own marketing on top of whatever else you'd want to do at the city level. Great. And then,
You almost did. No,
You watch me too much. Just a personal comment. So I grew up in Boonville, moved away for a long time, moved back, and I've lived in communities with and without. My personal opinion, once you get used to those things, they're pretty great. They really are.
we can't take them away from people once you get them.
I
But
agree.
for 3 months though, we have to be partners, because it just takes a little while for people to understand it's the new way of doing things, and then you're with the rest of the world when it comes to that, and problem solved.
Hey, two easy questions. A, does the trash that goes into the beautiful, structurally sound can that's in front of you, does it have to be bagged?
That I would recommend putting that in the ordinance, just so it's there, and
So the
everything,
answer
you have
is
a way to
yes.
police it need be.
Yeah, okay.
It keeps it so whenever you dump the trash into the front, the little hopper area, that way, if it's a super windy day and the trash is bagged, then you're not going to have trash all over the street. But I mean, that's the same as it is now. We don't have a way to police what kind of bags they use, or I don't want to use the word police. We don't have a way to enforce. We don't have any policies in place. Literally right now, someone just set a bag of trash out there, and our driver gets up bright and early in the morning, picks up that first bag of trash, and it breaks open all over. Whose problem is that? Is that our problem? Is that the residents' problem? Is that the city's problem to clean up? And the answer is we generally try to just clean it all up, but then when we're short-staffed and we need to get onto that next neighborhood, then people don't get their trash picked up. This way, it makes it a more sustainable option, cleans everything up, kind of takes some of that away. But what kind of bags they want to use once they put it in there, there's no way to, we can't say use double-duty bags or anything. But bagging does definitely help.
Okay, to preclude a 20-minute answer,
Okay. Sorry.
the next question, we have a lot of garage sale people, and we have garage sales going on all year round. We get people that are moving all year round.
Okay.
So they're gonna have more trash than it's gonna fit in there. Can we have a public place where I can take my extra garage sale stuff that I didn't sell and drive over there and put it into a dumpster? Is that a yes or a no?
We would be doing an amendment to the original agreement, and I could work on, and I really need to work with Jeff on that, putting something like that into reality.
I think the risk, not to be a damper,
I know, the risk is high.
if you open up some sort of free trash, then what stops everybody from using the free dump
Particularly
service?
the people
Well,
outside
I'd
of
work with
Boonville.
Jeff on that.
Yeah.
If you got a way to monitor it, then the answer could potentially be yes, but could we have a transfer? We already have a transfer station, and so really I think going there might be a good way to do it. And we'll work out what we can do with bulk items and.
Put it on the list, Jeff.
Yeah. Okay. What are we doing with the bulk items now?
They get one bulk item per week.
One bulk item per week.
Okay, anybody else?
Would this affect any of the bulk item pickup?
No, it would be the same thing.
It would be the
Yeah.
same.
And we'd work out whether we're gonna have a different driver come by. I
Yeah,
assume a different route would come by and take care of that.
Typically a different truck that comes by to get
All
those.
right, thank you, gentlemen,
Thanks, guys.
appreciate it.
I just have a question. Is this something that, not to put you guys on the spot, or we can come back to the next meeting, is this something you want us to continue working with them on, or did you
Well,
hear
you're talking
something
to the
that?
council.
Yeah, or did you hear something that you're like, not interested?
I'm all for it.
I don't foresee them, or I foresee them running into labor issues. I mean, as we continue this, so we might as well go ahead and move forward.
Okay,
I agree. You're
It's
right.
easier for everybody.
It's not
thank you
gonna
for the
change.
correction.
All right,
And then as far as working in at some kind of a charge for the second car, does $5 sound okay, or does it need?
Probably too low.
That seems cheap.
way too cheap.
I'm
I
sorry,
think so.
You'll get everybody ordering
It's
them.
too low.
I don't know what sort of
Okay.
crime rate we have for rolling trash carts, but what if somebody has their cart stolen? I mean, is that, how do we deal with that?
Each one of these cards come with a serial number on them. So typically a driver will drive by, he gets used to seeing these carts every day. He knows exactly what's going on with every cart. And I can ask each one of my guys who have carts like this, what's at what house? And he can tell me right off the top of his head. I got 2 of these cans sitting here. One of them's gone, and now the neighbor has 2 that's never been here. So it usually comes down to the driver saying, hey, there's one showing up, they tell me, and then I have to go out and say, you either get law enforcement involved, which we typically don't try to do. We try to just get that cart back.
So it is a law enforcement issue then?
Yeah, I mean, we've had some of them come out to be law enforcement issues. It just depends on the person you're working with.
If someone calls and says they need another car,
Yeah.
we're just gonna take care of them, the answer
Okay,
is
that's-
most of the time yes, but if it's like the same guy over and over that says, I lost my car, then we'll put a charge in the contract if we need to that says it'll be this, or you can charge them, however you want to do it.
You've rolled out this program in other cities, haven't you?
We've rolled out, it's the norm is what it's turning
What-
into.
What is the norm? What are you charging in other cities for the extra cart?
$5 is where we try to get to. I've got some that are $3.50, but then we also have the opportunity to price increase that over time too. But I want to set a straight fee on it to where we don't price increase it.
Wouldn't it, I guess I would be suggesting, it should be consistent with what you're doing in other cities, shouldn't it?
Well, times change, and I never thought that I'd be sitting here today talking about the staffing issue.
Well, I
and
mean,
find out
if you're
about
gonna
bonuses.
change it in the other cities, then yeah, I would be with you, but I can't see, I guess I would have a bit of a problem. If we're paying 10 to 12, and the neighbors right across the river, wherever, is paying 5 for an extra cart. That wouldn't be quite right, would it?
Every municipality has a different set of circumstances, and do I like to be consistent as possible? Exactly what you're saying. I'm the guy that's in your chair with a board of other people saying something similar to that. But there are circumstances that are different, and times change over time. I mean, we've been putting carts in place for 20 years, and depends on the inventory at the time, what we got, so that's an open market, free market, to where we do what we can do at the time, and we kind of have those contracts going forward. But for simplicity's sake, I absolutely try to streamline everything, so that way whenever anybody calls our customer service, the answer is generally this is what it is, and there's not a lot of room for error. But that's just because I like to make things easier. But it's a good question, and I try to, yes, but there are different sets of circumstances for every time.
And is this $5 just a one-time charge, or just $5 for a month?
$5 for assuming that's the rate that we all agree on.
Take it a second.
For a second card, it'd be $5 extra per month.
Per month.
Yes, and so that is a billing opportunity potentially for the city to charge $6 if you would want to, and for all the extra carts that are out there, or not. It's up to you. And we could send a single bill straight to the customer when they want it for the whole year and then be done with it. But what we can't have is every month someone decided that they don't want that second cart and they want it 6 months out of the year, because that's been done before. We didn't I know better now, and I put that language in the contract to stop that. Any other questions? I got one more thing, and that's for the senior citizens, or not senior citizens, but like a handicap, where we got the door service. We aren't, that's gonna come up, questions with your constituents at some point in time. And we still offer the carts for them, and we will go get those carts for them and roll them out. It's just gotta be, we gotta be able to visually see it, and we tend to work those all out on individual circumstances to make it right. But we're here to take care of people. We can't have it go over 2 to 5% of the population, because otherwise everybody, it needs to be vetted by the city. That's what I'm saying. And I think that about covers it all. Anything else? I know we went pretty long here tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you all for all your time and being understanding with the staffing issues that we have right now.
Okay. Item B, first reading of bill number 2021-023, establishing the tax levy for fiscal year 2021-2022.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri establishing the rate of taxes to be levied on all property subject to taxes in the City of Boonville, Missouri for the fiscal year beginning April 1, 2021.
Okay, item C, consider resolution 2021-09, an agreement with Cooper County Clerk regarding the collection of city ad valorem taxes. It's on page 14 through 17.
A resolution of the City of Boonville, Missouri authorizing and approving a cooperative agreement between the Cooper County Clerk and the City of Boonville, Missouri regarding the collection of city ad valorem taxes and providing an effective date therefor. Whereas the City of Boonville, Missouri and the Cooper County Clerk desire to enter into a cooperative agreement authorized and permitted by sections 50.322, 70.220 to 70.320, inclusive, and sections 140.670 to 140.750, inclusive of the revised statutes of Missouri for the cooperative efforts of the parties to collect their taxes of the City of Boonville on property located within the boundaries of said city, which is located in Cooper County, Missouri, and Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Boonville, Missouri as follows. Section 1, that a certain cooperative agreement between the Cooper County Clerk and the City of Boonville, Missouri, a copy of which is marked Exhibit A and is attached hereto and made a part hereof, is hereby approved. Section 2, that the mayor and the city clerk be and are hereby authorized to execute and attest said agreement in multiple counterparts on behalf of the City of Boonville. Section 3, that the fully executed agreement and counterparts be delivered to the Cooper County Commission for consideration and approval as soon as practicable. Section 5, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after its passage and approval. Passed this second day of August 2021 by the City Council of Boonville, Missouri.
Is there a motion?
I move that we approve this resolution.
Thank you, Susan. Is there a second?
I second approval.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. Comments, questions?
Has the clerk been involved in any of this?
Yes.
Is that how?
She's already signed it, so this has already been vetted by her. Are you talking about the county?
Yes.
Yeah, she's already signed it.
Good question. It'd be better to do that if we have
Just
a
making
cooperative
sure.
party.
I assume the answer is yes, but I don't want to.
Good for you.
Mike,
Yes, sir.
am I understanding this correctly, that the county clerk would receive his or her regular salary plus the 1.5%? Is that what we're saying? Is that double dipping or no?
It would be double dipping if we hadn't been doing it for freaking years. This is the extension of the city portion of the property taxes, Albert. She is the county clerk, and she is obligated to do the county business. That's what she gets paid for. This is addition. It's city work that she's doing for us. So she's doing that instead of us having to hire somebody else for 2 or 3 different job descriptions that go behind this, okay? And she's doing it for that fee.
I think it says here, you can draw a comparison of what that might be based on 2019 and 2020. Do we have that number, that figure?
So this is, what this line is saying is that pending the outcomes, we will also pay her for the services of 2019 and 2020. So we did cut a check to her for 2019.
I don't remember either.
Something around $12,000 seems to stick in my mind. That check was not accepted, so it was not ever paid to her directly. This agreement is the same, the percentage is the same as what is with the county collector, and we have a separate agreement with the collector currently.
So it is the same as the collector.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So we do have some makeup also, Albert, to take care of, and that covers the makeup that we'll do for those 2 years that she got paid for, but she didn't get the money. I don't know how else to say that. How can I?
2020, we didn't offer any payment at the time because it was,
That was in the lawsuit.
that was in between, yeah, after the judge had initially ruled.
I think from our perspective, it's important to keep in mind that for 12 or 14 or 15, whatever it may be, the value which is provided here exceeds that tenfold.
Oh, yeah.
So
Excellent.
it's a good deal for the city, and it's right that we have a contract with her that she is rewarded for it, because the value that this provides the city is enormous.
Yeah, it's a good point, Andrew.
So the 2019 check, you said it was not accepted. Was it cashed?
No.
It was
No.
cashed and then it was reissued.
Yeah,
The county reissued like a refund check to the city.
county
Okay.
paid us back.
Right, okay.
Any other questions? That's a good question. Any other questions? Okay. Roll call.
Young,
Yes?
Meadows,
Yes.
Cowherd,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Stock.
Yes.
Good job, folks. Item D, consider resolution 2021-10, an agreement with Cooper County Sheriff regarding animal control services. It's on pages 18 through 21.
A resolution of the City of Boonville, Missouri authorizing and approving an intergovernmental agreement between the Cooper County Sheriff, Missouri, and the City of Boonville, Missouri, to perform animal control services by the Boonville Animal Control Officers, and providing an effective date therefore. Whereas the Sheriff of Cooper County is responsible for enforcing state-related animal control laws for the health and safety of the residents of Cooper County, and whereas the Sheriff of Cooper County does not have the need for an on-staff animal control officer, and has asked the City of Boonville to provide animal control services on an as-needed basis under the terms and conditions of the attached intergovernmental agreement, and whereas the Boonville Animal Control Officer believes that this service can be scheduled in such a way and is not too numerous so as to be easily accommodated, and whereas the City Council of Boonville, Missouri believes that this is an opportunity to share expertise to another community in Cooper County without any undue burden of the citizens of Boonville or city staff. Therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Boonville, Missouri as follows. Section 1, that the City Council of the City of Boonville, Missouri shall approve and authorize an intergovernmental agreement with the Cooper County Sheriff for limited animal control services, as set forth in Exhibit A, attached hereto and made a part hereof as fully as if set forth herein verbatim. Section 2, that the mayor and the city clerk are hereby authorized to execute and attest said contract on behalf of the City of Boonville. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after its passage and approval. Passed this second day of August 2021 by the City Council of Boonville, Missouri.
Is there a motion?
Mayor, make a motion to approve this resolution.
Thank you, Whitney. Second?
I got you.
Mike got the second. Questions, comments?
I'm
Mike.
assuming there was something that made this, there was something that went
Yeah,
down.
this is just specifically for vicious and dangerous animals, so it's
Gotcha.
primarily dog bite cases that the county currently doesn't have any ability. And we had partnered with them on occasion, just as a good neighbor, but we wanted to formalize it, and so this is it.
So when she goes with Sheriff's Department in the county, she is now under she would be under their umbrella to be able to do what?
Correct.
And there won't be anything coming back to the city because
Correct.
we're out, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Good question.
Good deal.
Roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Coward,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner, and Stock.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 9, reports of standing committees. A, Street, Alley, and Sanitation Board. Steve?
Mayor, that meeting was canceled because we had a lack of agenda.
Okay. Item B, Board of Public Works, July 29, 2021. Andrew?
Yes, sir, that meeting was canceled as well, lack of option, or lack of agenda items.
Okay. Item C, Planning and Zoning Commission, July 6th of 2021. Whitney?
We went over the CMMG expansion, we've already voted on that, so it's kind of open.
Okay. Number 10, reports of city officials. City Administrator.
Okay, I have several bullet points, but we'll go ahead and start with the general overview of streets. Jeff Ditto is here. On page 27, he provided you with a brief one-page document in terms of who they have, how many they have, and some other stuff. He's going to come up, and I'll just reiterate that if after hearing this you want to visit or see any of these things, then call him to coordinate a visit.
Good evening, Mayor and Council Representatives. I'm Jeff. Been here since December of 2019, working for the city, and been the director for a little less than a year. In a couple more weeks, we're going to be doing the same thing again, since there's several items to talk about. But tonight, we're going to talk about the street and alley and water distribution, some of that kind of stuff. Street and alley kind of shows what we have there. We've got 6 people and we've got 4 inmates that we've had since March, April this year. Some people don't know the street alley guys do a little bit more than just the streets. For an example, they was doing a sewer line for the Boone Point out here, the new subdivision. We put that in. They work on stormwater issues, signs, painting the road. You know, we worked on a fire when we had a fire. They're hauling rock and dirt and sweeping the roads, fixing potholes, concrete, yard waste. So there's a lot of different things that they do out there other than just take care of the streets. Water distribution, sewer collection. Again, we've got 6 people in there with 1 foreman. Some of the items that they do is maintenance on all the sewer lines, the main line breaks, meter reading, changing out meters, service calls daily, fire hydrants, and new water services. So they've got a variety of different things they're doing as well. We've got an in-house mechanic that services all the vehicles, doing some oil changes and minor things, belts and things of that nature. Other than that, we got any questions? You'd be happy to answer them. Here in 2 weeks, again, we're going to be talking about wastewater and the water treatment plant. So tonight we're just on this stuff. Comments, questions? I do encourage everybody for a tour. I mean, you're going to learn a lot more than you are up here with this thing here. So just call me up and set that up. I encourage that because we can actually learn quite a bit of stuff. I think Albert and Barry both been on them. Do you think it was worthwhile going to? Last time an hour, 2 hours maybe? Worth going to, so I encourage that.
Jeff, I think I've asked you this question before, but frankly, I kind of forgot what you told me.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask it again. What are we doing on the burnout, the lights that's burn out around the city? What is the process on that?
Well, I just got to call Ameren, it's all it counts to. Somebody's just got to tell me.
You call Ameren?
Yes, I'll call them. It's no big deal. Anybody can record it, but I can record it. I've got a connection and everything there. So.
That way he can track them too, Albert.
Yeah.
And I don't drive around a lot at night, so I don't get to see those things, you know, during the day and stuff like that. But yeah, if you ever see them, just give me a ring.
Yeah, and if you're parked or something, there's usually a BV number on the pole, so it'll say like BV 10. If you can tell them that, it makes our job a little bit easier, but we will drive around and find it too, but that's what we report to Ameren is the pole number.
Yeah.
I'd also just add that Jeff included our equipment list, so in case you're wondering, we have really a significant number of equipment for a town our size, which enables us to do quite a bit of our own construction work. So we've slowly keep building our stuff.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
Okay.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks.
Okay, so the next Steve is here, and he's on 29.
29.
And he is here to talk a little bit about planning and zoning, and then also the building inspector side of things, so.
So, good evening, Mayor, Council. As Kate just stated, my name is Steve Haig. I've been a building inspector, floodplain manager, been doing this for 18 years. The committees and boards that I sit on are Planning and Zoning, Boca Board of Appeals, Board of Adjustments, and the City Central Overlay District. Planning and Zoning, Kate and I, we work hand in hand along with Scott with meetings. Scott comes into play. He does all the reviews on major subdivision plats, things like that. So other duties, City of Boonville, our code of ordinances. I enforce Chapter 5, Chapter 7.5, Chapter 13. Chapter 13 deals with the dangerous building section. Chapter 17, planning and redevelopment. Appendix A, subdivisions, and Appendix C, zoning. You can see the list of the building codes that I enforce and the duties that come along with it. There's the inspection of new construction on commercial and residential, and also the remodels on commercial and residential. So,
Questions?
yes, sir.
Well, you issued a danger building,
Mm-hmm.
send out a letter on that. What is the next, if you don't get any response, No rest.
So-
What is the next process?
Yeah,
What's
so the
next
process on that is I will issue that first letter. After they have received that letter and we have confirmation, because we do send that by certified mail and we also send it regular mail. So once we have confirmation, especially through the certified, we will get a deal back that, that shows that they have picked that up. Once they have that, they have got 30 days, either on their own, to start and proceed without any unnecessary delay. Now, if they start that process, and I don't see any reason, to proceed if they're moving forward with it, then I let it go as is. If there is no movement, if they haven't done anything within that 30 days, then I report that to our building commissioner, which is Kate, and then we set a hearing. And that hearing comes before this body right here, the city council. And at that hearing, we will present evidence, we'll show pictures, and we'll show ownership and things such as that. After we have shown that evidence and you guys have made your ruling on the findings, then there will be another letter generated that gives them another 30 days. And if they do not do anything within that 30 days, then the city of Boonville, at that point, we can demolish the structure on our own. And then is what happens after that is that winds up as a tax lien against that property for the amount of what the demolition cost was. So, and over the years, I don't know, Kate, what have we done, 50 or so, 50 plus, 60 maybe? Some people will, we have had residents that no longer live here, they're out of state, and they don't even know what the property looks like anymore. And then they get the pictures and it's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to deal this, can I just donate it or give it to the city of Boonville? So we have wound up with some properties over the years, because people just, like I said, they're out of state and they don't want to mess with it, so.
It's a perfect segue, Albert, because we are going to be setting a dangerous building hearing at the next council meeting.
Yes, so,
Yes.
yes,
So perfect question.
yes, so.
Anything else? Thanks, Steve. Keep up the good work, sir. I assume you have a list.
I do.
I heard a rumor earlier that you had a list.
Okay, so the first thing was just, as Steve said, we sent out a round of dangerous building hearings. One of those, we've encountered something that neither Steve or I have ever encountered, where we haven't been able to get service. So we're a little bit behind in our process. So it sets out in the process where you now put it in the paper. So that is what we are doing. And look on the agenda for at the next council meeting, we'll likely set a dangerous building hearing for September 20th. So you guys will get all the information. If you have any questions, let me know. And Philip Wooldridge will be doing that process for us. I just wanted to give everyone an update on some work that's going on at Kemper. So we signed contracts with Brad Baker last week. And he is scheduled to start somewhere around August 16th. So the road, the steps, the handicap ramp, all of those things, we will be getting started hopefully this month. You'll start seeing the activities. There may be times where that road is closed depending on where they're working. So he's going to try to keep his footprint as small as possible. But there might be some inconvenience where people have to go through the Y for a little bit. I think it was a 180-day project, right? So the other thing is that currently we have out for bid a YMCA project, and I can't remember offhand when we open those bids, but we'll be doing the bathrooms on the gymnasium floor level. Nathan Twinner has already started doing some tuck pointing and repairs for us inside the gym. And then we're also doing painting and general plaster repair. So upstairs, it's around a $200,000 project. We're saving most of the money for Johnson Fieldhouse on the main level. And just a note on timing, the main level renovations cannot occur until the new building is done, because they have to have a place to put everybody. So there will be kind of a big lag time now. This is a big project, and then we need to collect some more money since we're doing this on a pay-as-you-go process. I'll let Paul come and talk about the pool because everybody's curious what's going on. So I'll skip down my list here.
Okay, for all of y'all that are unaware of the situation at the Lions Park Aquatic Center, basically on July the 20th, when we went into the pool to check the pool like we on a normal operation, the main pump that circulates all the water had quit. So we tried everything we could do and couldn't. I called Midway Electric and they said it was the pump. So I got a hold of Alliance Pump out of Independence, Missouri, and they showed up the following day with a gentleman and helped us, and we helped him take the pump out. They took it back to Independence. It took them roughly 7 days to get a new motor and pump, and they put it all back together, cleaned it all up, brought it back the following day, which would have been like the 29th, reinstalled it on the 29th. We got everything going again, and during this time period, if you don't know a whole lot about pool, we got 274,000 gallons of water. So in order to keep from having to drain the pool, if I would have had to drain the pool, there's no way I could have got it drained and refilled and chemically where it should be to be able to open the rest of the year. So we had pumps, manual pumps on top of the water, just trying to keep the water circulating. Had lifeguards coming in, pushing water around. Anyway, doing that for 7 days, trying so we didn't lose the water. And we spent quite a bit of chemicals and everything. But anyways, on the 29th, the next day, we came back after he got it going. We come in the next day and the pump was down again. This time, the variable frequency drive that controls the motor through the electrical part had went out. So now I have Midway Electric in the process. Hopefully they're going to show up tomorrow to try to bypass that system. That's about $4,700 for the variable frequency drive. The pump cost us around $8,500. Not counting all the extra chlorine and stuff I'm having to put into the pool. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that maybe we can get the pool going tomorrow. So far we're still good, but if it goes a couple more days, we'll be done. But hopefully if we can get it going, the pool's going to close on the 21st anyway, so we got roughly about 18 more days that we're trying to keep people. I'm getting calls left and right for people that have paid for season passes, and now they're not getting to use their season pass which was probably the hottest 2 weeks of the year when we were down, which nothing we can do about it. You know, you don't just keep a $10,000 pump laying around. So it's just been one thing to another, so we had to cancel our swim lessons. So we're going to have to return those people's money that have paid for swim lessons and pool parties. So it just hasn't been good. And then on top of that, today the phone line they've been calling, the phone line went out. So and we got that through socket. So you just get a busy signal. So now we have no phone connection. So all those phone calls are being transferred to my cell phone. So I get about 150 calls a day. So, anybody have any questions?
So if it works tomorrow, the pool opens the following day? Is that kind of...
If he shows up tomorrow, which he says he can come and bypass it tomorrow, if he shows up tomorrow and he can get it going tomorrow, we can probably open Wednesday and be open for the rest of the year without any more difficulties. So that's what we're hoping, but keep our fingers crossed. So that's all I can do. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Paul.
Just a couple other things really quickly. I just want to let you guys know that we received a letter from the Office of Administration. So the state of Missouri has requested the American Rescue Plan Act funds, which included direct aid to cities and counties. We're part of this funny group called NEUs, which just basically means that we're not big enough to get direct aid from the feds. So our money is being funneled through the city. According to what I have seen, we're slated to get $1.55 million. It's coming in 2 batches, so we'll get one soon. In the next couple weeks, it'll be about $750,000, and then we'll get another $750,000 a year later. The ways in which you can spend the money are kind of unclear. There are certain things that are very clear and there are certain parts that are clear. The clear parts tend to be the infrastructure projects, water and sewer, wastewater, broadband, those sort of things. The unclear part, I'll be honest, tends to be when you start talking about loss of revenue and those sort of things. So I'm still working with Joy Howard. For those of you who've been around, you know that Joy Howard is our financial advisor, and she has been actively tracking this, so she's going to kind of review some of the ways that we thought we would maybe spend this money. And I will bring this stuff to you, but it is in the works. I just want you to know that, and hopefully we will figure out a good way to use these funds for a project that maybe we didn't quite have all the money saved for. So it's a work in progress. We have up through 2024 to spend the money, I believe, or obligate it. Obligate in 24 and spend in 25. Spend it by 24, obligate by 23.
When was the first installment?
We haven't received it yet, so the state of Missouri just requested it on their end. And so I think I had Ned sign the last part of the agreement today. I think they said we should see it in the middle of August.
Okay.
So just so you guys know, that is in the works. The other thing is as we heard today, we have, and a couple weeks ago, we talked about that we need some clarity on our chickens and whether or not we want chickens in town or we don't want chickens in town. It is confusing, having gone through this process with Angela, that we actually sort of have two conflicting ordinances, which is even, it's one of those times where, if you recall, where at the bottom it says, and repeals all ordinances in conflict with the other. I haven't done enough due diligence yet to figure out which one repeals the other one, but in the nuisance section, it talks about a municipal permit. It does not talk about a municipal permit in the animals and fowl section. So the animals and fowl, some people read it that chickens are not allowed as fowl, and some people read it that maybe it is, since, anyways, it's just not clear. So I would prefer some clarity from council a little bit. As I already said, that I didn't want to be the arbiter of the chickens in the city. I would prefer to have a set of guidelines. And I was thinking about this weekend, that it could be one of two things, or three things. One, obviously we can just say no chickens. That's one option. Option two is that we can set out in ordinance the standards by which chickens are allowed. And that would go in the animals and fowl section, which is probably where it should be. The nuisance section might remain. We'll just amend it as necessary to match what's in the animals and fowl section. The final option is we could keep a municipal permit, but we could sort of craft the guidelines by which a permit would be issued. And so we wouldn't issue a permit until someone has built the coop and has the space and whatever the conditions that you guys set out. And then in which case, then we just put that there's a permit required in the animals and fowl section, and we can leave chapter 13. Anyways, I don't necessarily need an answer today, but maybe think about how you feel about chickens. And if you think we should be allowing chickens, there are several cities that do allow chickens, so we're not on the avant-garde if we let them in. But there are some places that don't too. So it's kind of really up to your discretion. And that is all.
Have you heard, what are some of the concerns with having chickens? Do you know?
Primarily, your complaints are about roosters. So most places, I'll just be honest, say no roosters. Because they crow and they're noisy. That's generally what you'll see in most cities. The other complaint you'll hear is if people are not good chicken owners, like not good dog owners or cat owners or any animal owner, and they're running around town, they become kind of a nuisance. So being able to keep chickens on your property is important. Those are probably the biggest. I mean, when you read other ordinances, that's really their focus, is no roosters, and you got to keep them on your property.
I'm sure there's concern with the visualization of chickens around or not maintained chicken facilities or whatever
Right.
you can think of also.
And I think most of them have, like, the coops have to be in a backyard, they can't be in a front yard. I mean, Julie, you can say whatever you want. Yeah,
Yep.
that's it.
Mayor, item B. Committee appointments on page 30. Got three appointments to approve to the Industrial Development Authority. Bob Irish, Tabitha Grice, and Chad Gaines. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second? Thank you, Mike. Any questions or comments? Roll call?
Hold on. I didn't have that.
Okay.
Okay. Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Cowherd,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
and Stock.
Yes.
Passes. That takes care of my items. City clerk, got anything tonight?
No, I do not.
Okay. All right, anything for miscellaneous? Anybody dream up something?
I got one for you.
Albert dreamed up one.
The CARE program, care program, back in March when we got that. As I recall, that read that as of December 31st, unused money had to be returned. Is that what you recall?
That's what I recall.
Do you know how much was returned?
I don't know what the county,
They don't communicate on that kind of,
I could ask, I didn't ask, I guess, but I can.
would you? I'd be interested to know.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to, I do appreciate everyone at the pool who has been trying to keep it alive. So this has not been an easy task, and it has been very stressful for Paul and everyone involved. So I do want to just say thank you for keeping the pool season alive. Hopefully we get there.
All right, item 12, closed session.
Mayor, I move that we move into closed session. Is
Thank
that
you.
what I was supposed to
Yep.
do?
Yeah, absolutely. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Andrew is the second. Roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Cowherd,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Stock.
Yes.
All right, thank you. You'll need to leave because